welcome to episode 63 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and welcome to my knit night. If you haven't been here before, this is the little corner of the internet where I come to chat about my knitting rather than bore my children and my husband with it. I am from the most easterly point of England in the UK, and I live here with my husband, my 3-year-old daughter, my 7-month-old son, and my very elderly female cat, Mimi, who may make an appearance. She has been scooching around. She's getting old. She just likes cuddles and not small children. Anyway, if you have been here before, thank you so much for coming back, and let's crack on. I have FOs. Let's just jump straight. Actually, let's hit pause. I'm going to say something right up the front here. If you follow me on Instagram, if you saw the post that I put up this... I didn't realise that was still in there. If you... like I have a pencil coming out of my actual head. If you saw the post that went up this week, titled Public Service Announcement, and you are here for gossip, I don't have anything else to share. Thank you so much for everyone who's messaged me through Instagram, who has... Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking outside. They're not my dogs, but I've got the windows open because it's so hot, it's ridiculous. Someone's dogs are not happy dogs. Anyway, I hope that that is not too much of a bother. But yeah, you guys, if you are here from that, because of that post, and you think I might have something else to say, sorry. I really did mean what I said in that post. That was really everything. I don't have anything else to say on that, so there's no gossip over here. Yeah, so we'll move on to finished objects. I have two. It has been a few weeks. I was thinking that I might start podcasting every 2 weeks because I rarely have much to show after 1 week, but I might just take it as it goes, you know. Sometimes do it weekly, sometimes do it 2 weekly. Basically, yeah, get one when I got some stuff. It's been almost 3 weeks, but that is because there was some drama online and I just kind of had a little bit of a going into my shell time about it. Anyway, my first finished object was this pair of socks. As you can see, there is only one sock here. Earlier I got them out, put them in a pile with my bits and bobs for recording. My charming daughter, who loves all my knitting, and there is something ridiculously charming about that, even though she steals my stuff, was walking around with them on her feet. As you can imagine, her feet take up about this much of a sock. So she looked ridiculous. It was funny. I asked her to put them back on my bed. I only have one. One is probably in her room. There is no way on this earth that I am going into my daughter's room at 9 o'clock at night. So these are the Friendship Link socks. There is a pair. There is proof on Instagram if you want to check up on me. But this is the pattern that runs down the front, and it is a mixture of stockinette chunks, pearl bumps, and then I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this with my rubbish lighting, but we have these chain stitches, and that runs... I didn't do it on the back of the leg. It would have been very easy to also put it on the back of the leg, but it's just a 2x2 cuff. It goes all the way down the front of the leg and the front of the sock, and then I went for contrast heels and toes. So this is the Friendship Links sock pattern. This is my pattern. It is available for purchase on Ravelry. I'm not using Ravelry very much right now. Yeah. I would like Ravelry to go back to being accessible, please. And as a very small time designer who is now really trying to make things work, I don't know what my options are right now. I'm trying to work out another way to sell my patterns. I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I can afford to. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But this is available on Ravelry if you would like to check it out and are able to. This NoodleSoup Yarns. This is the birthday colourway for her first year of being in business. Charlie, the dyer behind NoodleSoup Yarns, is amazing, and this is a gorgeous hot pink mini that she selected and said that should go with it as the contrast. And I was a bit like, okay, and went home with it. I was like, I'm not sure I'm going to put that with that, but I'm so glad I did because it's gorgeous, and I will be wearing those when I find the other one. My second finished object, I have steam blocked this, so it's still not the right shape. I need to soak it and lay it out, but I just wanted to steam block it so I could show you. But I've knit a few pairs of my Friendship Links socks now, and I quite like that pattern. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I know it's not ridiculously complicated or anything like that, but I find it really easy to memorize and a bit vanilla-ish, but a bit more than vanilla. So I decided to put it into a shawl. So I have knit a crescent shaped shawl, but yeah, it needs a proper block and to be laid out, because I think I will get, it's very long from just a steam block. I've got my wingspan, but it'll stop that little curling at the top, hopefully a little, and I think I'll get a bit more depth as well. Depth, is that what I mean? But it is just that same pattern that's on my socks, but into a shawl. So this is the Friendship Links shawl. It's a crescent shawl, and then I toyed for ages with a bubble edging, a picot edging, and a I-cord bind off. I was like, which one do I want? Which one do I want? And in the end, I was like, man, all of those are hard work. I've put I-cord bind off on shawls before. I don't have an issue with it. I love how it looks. But everything about this shawl, and I haven't woven my ends in because that's me, everything about this shawl is for me like potato chippy, like nice and easy. Don't have to concentrate, can read a book, watch TV, chill out knitting. And I wanted the edging to be the same. I didn't want to go fancy. So I ended up deciding to go for lots of garter bumps, just a nice big, really squidgy garter bump edging. And yeah, so it's done. It just needs to be blocked. My pattern is about halfway through being written up. It just needs to be sent off to my friend who edits, and then needs to go to my test knitters. Yeah, so it's just a really, really simple little, hopefully a little bit bigger than this once it's blocked, crescent shaped little scarf. Actually it's already been claimed by my daughter. She's been wearing it unblocked, so it's been like really ruffled up for the best part of a week. In the sweltering heat, I might add. It's been boiling hot, and it's all she's wanted to wear. So I don't know how to do shawls. I like knitting them, but I don't know how to style them. But yeah, so this is probably not going to be mine anyway. The yarn is Castle View Yarns in Water Lilies. This is a skein I bought in one of the first virtual Yorkshire Yarn Fests, and it's just been sat in the top of my wardrobe, and my wardrobe door's been open because it's like a slidey wardrobe door, and I've just been staring at it for ages. And after a day of cleaning out and sorting out bits and old baby clothes and bits and bobs, and I was feeling a bit emotional getting rid of all the little baby clothes that Alpha's grown out of, I decided to treat myself to casting on this. So that happened really quickly. I couldn't stop because it was so vanilla-ish. Vanilla-ish, is that a word? It went really, really quickly, and I could watch TV and knit and read and knit and not have to think. So that's my 2 finished objects. I have 3 whips. The first one I'm not going to bother showing you. It is my understated sweater by Hohi Locatelli. I'm knitting it in Lay Family Yarn. I think I showed it last time. It's had probably 6 more rows put on it. It's almost at the point where I can join it in the round. So I thought there's not much point in me showing you. It's not got much further. Hopefully next time I record, I will have got it joined in the round. You'll be able to see that there's a difference, and I'll show you guys. My other 2 things. I'm looking at the notes I've made, which are on my iPad, and it's supposed to say cowl design, and autocorrect has changed it to cool design. This is a cool design. I haven't spoken to the person whose yarn this is about showing it to you guys. So I'm going to show you the yarn, and I'm going to show you the wrong side of the project, just because I think this person won't mind, but I haven't double checked, so I'm not going to show you the actual side. It can be a surprise for a little bit longer. So this is NoodleSoup Yarns. This is my lovely friend Charlie, and these, I mean, look at that. That is amazing. I mean, that's gorgeous too, but that is just, the shine on that is ridiculous. But this is her really squishy, lovely sport weight base that she has let me try. and I'm working something up in colourwork. I'll just show you my floats. So it's not been blocked obviously because it's not even halfway through. So yeah, it is a cowbell, and I'll show you the right side hopefully when it's finished. And living on here, just to mark the beginning of my round, is this. There's a little hint of the right side. Corner of Craft stitch marker, my unicorn from Corner of Craft. And this is my notes. So my notes do typically get very, like, especially they're all on graph paper because they're like charted and stuff, but they do get very screwed up. But Alfie got a hold of this when he was sat next to me, and I couldn't bear to take it off him because he was so happy flapping it about. He ended up crumpling it up completely and then shoving it in his mouth, at which point I did take it off him. So this is my very attractive notes. And then my last whip, because we are powering through today, are my vanilla socks that I'm working on at the moment. So this yarn is extra special because, first of all, it was gifted to me for my birthday, for my 30th, which was last month, from my lovely friend Jo. And she sent it to me, and it's a sock set. The reason it's extra special is because it's dyed by another one of my friends. If you don't follow ALonelySockLady over on Instagram, go and check her out. She has an Etsy shop as well, and she dyes the most amazing self-striping yarns. And this sock set is for our Knit Night group. So we have a group, like a chat group that we call the Knit Night group, and she got a colour for each of us and made it into stripes. And yeah, I was already on my sort of yarn ban, well, not yarn ban, spending ban, because I am taking the last 3 months of my maternity leave unpaid to see if I can survive. Yeah, so I hadn't bought myself any, and Jo bought me or sent me this. So it came with the contrasting gorgeous mini, which is the most tonal, gorgeous, like variegated there. Oh yeah, tonal grey, silvery grey almost, and then these gorgeous stripes, and they're so uniform and so perfect. So I'm almost at the toe. I reckon I've got another 10-15 rounds and I'll be at the toe, which I'll do the toe in the contrast as well. And they're just shorties, but these are the ones that are hanging out in, they're actually the only ones that are living in a project bag right now, in my bag from the Fibre Fox. And there's the rest of the yarn. It comes in an amazing gobstopper ball, and it came, the striping was in a gobstopper ball, and then the little 20-gram mini for contrast was in a lovely little skein, and they were attached. And they are living in my Fibre Fox bag. I believe this is one of the Liberty prints, and this, I love this bag because this was bought for me for my 30th birthday by my friend Charlie from the Fibre Fox, and my friend Charlie is a yarn dyer as well. And yeah, it's just fibre people supporting fibre people, gifting to other fibre people. And yes, this is my current sock bag, and it fits perfectly in the front of the pushchair. I've got one of those little caddies that goes in the front of the pushchair. There's lots in there, so every time we have 2 minutes when we're going for a walk and Ellie stops to like pick up a ladybird or blow a dandelion or yeah, stare at a bug, ogle a dog poo, because 3-year-olds do that, then I can do a few stitches. I'm not gonna lie, I don't usually stop and knit while she looks at dog poo. I do move her on pretty quick from that. Yes, that's all my whips, and that's all the knitting for this week. I'm trying to make things a little shorter, because when I was doing like 40 minutes to an hour to sometimes longer, I loved to sit and chat, but it took such a long time to edit, and I don't do a massive amount of editing, but I do try and put in, when I mention people, I do try and put that in so that people know who I'm talking about, especially if my voice isn't particularly clear. And that is all the more important to me because I can't work out how to do the subtitles anymore, and also I don't have time. It takes a couple of hours to do the subtitles on a 40-minute podcast, and I haven't got that couple of hours right now, and it makes me feel very bad, and I'm really not happy about it. but I haven't got a choice at the moment, so I like to make sure that our information's there. So I'm trying to make the podcast a little bit more to the point. Anyway, there's no stash enhancement because the trying not to buy things is continuing. I'm going to try and cope through the last 3 months of maternity leave. Scary. We shall see how it goes. So all I'm going to talk about now is like news, stuff that's been going on, because things have been going on. I started another Kickstarter. So if you haven't been here before, I have a business. I know I didn't say at the beginning where I am and where I'm from. I'll try and put that, where you can find me online. I'll try and put that along the bottom at the beginning. But if I haven't, you can find me on Instagram as TheLonelyKnitter. You can find me on Ravelry as TheLonelyKnitter2. And I have a website, www.craftersbalm.co.uk. I make hand balm for crafters or for anyone who has hard-working hands. It's an all-natural product. Yeah, it's got a bee that's knitting on the logo. And I also make a few other bits and bobs, stitch markers, coasters, little other things. But I was trying to think of a way to expand my business and to start having something to do with yarn. I have wanted to work with yarn for as long as I can remember. And I've been knitting since I was 5. And I have wanted to work in a wool shop since I was 5. And yeah, I have been all about that for a long time. So I was trying to think of things that I could do. And I really have wanted to have another go at dyeing. I did have a go at dyeing years ago, but like food colouring dyeing, nothing major. Back when I used to sell fabric and stuff, I just sold it on my stall quite quickly and then it was done. But I've been thinking about it more and more recently, and so I decided I'm gonna get myself the stuff and make myself a little dyeing kit and have a go. And then I was like, there must be other people who want to do that as well. So I have had some advice, I have spoken to some dyers, I have got a dyeing friend who's helping me, and I've created a dyeing kit. So I have put it onto Kickstarter. I use Kickstarter kind of like a pre-order system, so I have got my own website, but when you use Kickstarter it's a much more transparent, very clear thing. So the way you do it is you set up, you put out what you want to do, how you're going to do it, all the information, and how much money you need to raise to be able to pull this off. So I need to raise £200 to be able to do the minimum order for some yarn that I want to get. I'd already paid for the dyeing stuff myself, so, and the other bits myself, so I knew that with £200 I could start to fulfill orders. I set it up on Kickstarter with rewards. So you put these rewards up, and the first reward is like, the first thing it says actually is pledge without a reward. Then it says to, then there's an option to pledge and get hand balm and get it at a slightly cheaper price than my website. And then there's the options to actually get the kit. So you can get the kit, or you can get the kit with an extra skein, 100 gram skein of yarn, sock yarn or DK, or you can get my major yarn option, which is basically all the stuff to start dyeing and 600 grams of yarn. Unfortunately, that one is, I've only put that up for UK. All the rest of the options are available worldwide, but the 600 grams of yarn one is UK only because the postage abroad would cost more, well over half of the price of the whole reward, and that just seemed wrong. Yeah, it was crazy. Excuse me. So I popped it up online. It's not a charity thing, this is like a pre-order system, but if I don't get to that £200, I don't have to sit there and panic, and I don't have to worry about returning people's money because I can't afford to do the thing that I want to do. This is just a way for me to get pre-orders in and to make this little dream come true, but everyone gets to see where we are with it. There's total transparency, and that is something that is really helpful for me with my anxiety, because I just don't like the idea that anyone's thinking that I wouldn't take everything 100% seriously. So I put it up 11 days ago. I left it to go, and was just hoping to make £200 so that I could add yarn to my shop, undyed yarn. So people can buy undyed yarn, people can buy dyeing kits. It's just a way to make a step into having yarn in my shop. I was blown away, you guys, blown away. 39 people have backed it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but right now my total is sat at £1,365. So I did start to share a little bit about what I was going to do with that money, because I don't need to do that. I understand that I don't need to do that. A lot of people have said, you don't need to tell us what you're going to do with your money, Laura. But I like to share if I've got something that I want to talk about. Like, I'm happy to share. You know, I wouldn't share if I didn't want to, I promise. But the first few £100, not just the first 200, will be going into stock because a lot more people ordered than I thought would. And then we are taking the steps so I can have a workspace in the house. I think I mentioned this last time. Every single corner of this house is full of things. If it's not full of children's toys, it's full of balm and all of my craft things that I want for my business, and then all of my personal stash things. And there is just not a big house to begin with, and there's 4 of us, and it's a 3-bedroom house. We're very lucky. There's 4 of us in it, and I say we're very lucky, we've worked really hard as well. But I don't have a craft space, and my dining table is then always full of things, and yeah, there's no space. So our idea is that we could cheaply convert the back of our garage into a room for me to use. But it needs to be insulated properly, because obviously I want to keep raw balm ingredients in it. So it has to be done properly, which should be fine, but it's a long road of saving up. But the back of the garage is full of a lot of things, like the lawnmower and car cleaning bits. I don't clean my car, it's my husband. And garden stuff and some children's garden toys and lots of stuff like that. So it's cheaper to buy a shed, put up a shed, put all the stuff that's in the back of the garage in the shed, and then convert the garage, than it is to buy an insulated shed or office building, because they are really expensive, and we have someone who can help us with converting the garage. So this Kickstarter has paid for the shed. So yeah, I'm not going to be keeping the money to like live off for the next few months, which really I kind of need to do. Instead, I'm going to work my butt off to try and support myself over the next 3 months, and I'm going to use that money to buy the shed. So that's the first step in the road of getting my workspace, because I need my little business to be taken seriously. I need, in our household, in our family, I need it to be taken seriously. I need to make it work, because it's my dream, and I feel like if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So yeah, I was a little bit sad for one moment, because someone who lives in America had signed up for my major yarn reward on Kickstarter, and they obviously hadn't seen that it was a UK only one. So I'd messaged them, because I didn't want it to get to the end of the Kickstarter, I receive their money, and then just say to them, you have to pay the extra, because that just seemed wrong. And I couldn't afford to send it to them and lose all of that money on postage. So I messaged them, let them know, and rather than choose to drop down to having 200 grams of yarn instead of 600, they wanted to cancel their whole pledge, which they did. You can do that. That is totally an option on Kickstarter. You can cancel up or downgrade your pledge at any point until it ends. No one is charged until the Kickstarter ends, and no one is charged unless the target is reached, which obviously mine has been reached. So hers did go, so it was over £1,400. It's back down under that, but there's still 39 people who believe in me enough to want to pre-order my thing, and it's just made me ridiculously happy. I was questioning whether we'd get to £200. So to get to £1,365 blows my mind. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm amazed, and I feel so loved and so happy, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So thank you. Thank you so much if you've pledged. Thank you so much if you've shared. Thank you so much if you have just thought a good thought that's come my way. Thank you. I appreciate you. So yeah, that's most of the news. Not much else has gone on in the last couple of weeks other than I did make some stickers. I'm not going to show you them just yet. I am going to be popping some stickers in with, or maybe something else. I haven't decided yet, but I think right now the idea is that the little extra that I'm going to put in, I said if we got to like £1,250, I'd put a little extra in with all of the rewards. And I think it's going to be some stickers, but it might be something different. I make the stickers myself, and it's some designs that I've doodled up myself, and I'm not 100% sure if people would like them, so I need to think on it a little bit more first. But yeah, I think that's it. Can't think of anything else that I was going to talk about. I can't believe we're not even at 30 minutes. That is bizarre. But it won't take me as long to edit. Yeah, I will be back in a couple of weeks. I think as well, last time actually, I did say that I was going to talk about Ravelry and then I didn't. I'll just say this right here and now. Ravelry have always been a community that I have felt have been at the forefront of accessibility, of inclusion, of fairness. And right now they are dumping on that. They have changed their format. There are people who are saying that they have had seizures, migraines, eye strain from the new code or whatever from their website. And the thing that is getting me the most is that they are ignoring it or disregarding it, and they are not making any kind of statement about it in terms of support for these people, in terms of, you know, they just don't care. They don't care. And if they don't care, you know, it's their website, there's nothing we can do about it. But it has majorly changed how I feel about it, because I have friends who are affected, and even if I didn't have friends who are affected, it's just not fair anymore, and that makes me sad. I'm not personally affected, but it doesn't mean I don't care about it. So I have said something on Instagram. I put a post up on Instagram as well, which is where I am most of the time if you ever want to hear my thoughts on anything or chat about anything. Oh, and by the way, the two winners from last podcast, I have now heard from both of them. So I'll be packaging up your prizes really soon and getting them out in the post to you. Thank you so much. Anyway, I'm going to go. So thank you, as always, for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.